Hey, how's it going? I'm Nick Gaska and welcome back to I Could Do That DIY. Today we're making another custom doll. But it's a special day because we're doing a collab with a bunch of different talented artists. In today's collab we have Blank Space Dolls, the Dolly Geek, Josephine's Creatures, Kiro's Workshop, Jackie O, and Mr. SUPERCUTOMS, along with myself. There will be a playlist along with links in the description for everyone's videos. Make sure to check out their videos, give the videos a like, and subscribe. Thanks so much! This is my first ever collab and I'm super excited. Step 1. Doll prep and planning. So the main requirement for today's collab is using an L.O.L O.M.G doll. I've never used one of these dolls before, so it's going to be an experience. They have giant eye molds and limited space to do any face up. So with these giant eyes, I thought the best thing to do would be a shoujo Macoto Takahashi inspired doll. He has a very specific style that I'm obsessed with. All of his girls have giant sparkling eyes with blushed cheeks and blushed hands, usually with blonde hair and a pink outfit with lace and ruffles and flowers everywhere. Our doll today is going to be a combination of all of these things. All of Macoto Takahashi's work is beautiful. You should definitely check him out if you haven't heard of him. Alright, let's get into it. Step 2. Face up prep. Alright, let's start things off by grabbing a pair of scissors and chopping off her hair. I'm going to use my scissors and cut the hair as close to the scalp as possible. Make sure you're careful while you're doing this so you don't cut the ears. Alright, cool, that looks great. Now let's remove the factory face paint. I'm using 100% acetone, a paper towel, and some Q-tips. I use an acetone-soaked paper towel to do the majority of the work and go into all the nooks and crannies with my Q-tip. Alright, cool, that looks great. Now let's remove the head from the body. We're going to dip the head in some hot water to soften it up, and then pop it off the body. This helps to not damage the neck peg when you're taking the head off. After I remove the head, it's time to remove the hair plugs from the scalp. I'm going to put the head back into the hot water to soften up the glue. Then I'm going to use my screwdriver to scrape around the inside of the scalp, and then pull out all the hair plugs using a needle nose plier. Awesome, that's all done. Now let's clean the scalp off with some acetone. After the head's all clean, I'm going to wash it off screen with some hot soapy water. After that, it's time to paint the scalp. We're doing a blonde doll, so we're going to use some yellow paint. It's acrylic paint, by the way. After the scalp's all painted, I'm just going to set it aside to dry. Then I'm going to prepare the body for face up by wrapping it with plastic wrap and scotch tape. Once the body is completely wrapped up just like this, I'm going to prepare the face with 2 layers of Mr. Super Clear as a base. Step 3. Face up / repaint. Alright, let's start this face up off by doing the eyes. We're going for those bright, sparkly, giant Macoto eyes. Using this image as a diagram, I'm going to take my black watercolor pencil and start working on the outline of the eye. I'm going to go ahead and mark out the iris, the pupil, and all the catch lights right now. After I get it in a good spot, I'm going to start filling in the eye. But before I get too carried away, I should probably mirror it to the other side. I'm going to do that off screen. Alright, let's continue to color in this eye by using my black and blue watercolor pencil. We're going to do black for the majority of the eye, color in the iris blue, and then use my white watercolor pencil to color in the rest of the eye. After the eyes are in a good spot, I'm going to work on the rest of the face with my pastels. But I'm not going to really show you that, because we have a disaster coming up. When I was spraying my layer of Mr. Super Clear, I noticed there's a hair on the face. When I went to wipe it, I messed up the face paint. So now we had to remove the whole face paint, minus the eyes. I'm going to try to salvage those. The doll has a really defined eye mold, so I think this is savable. So again, I'm going to grab my acetone and wipe off the face paint. Then I'm going to clean it with some soap and do a layer of Mr. Super Clear as a base again. Alright, so this is what we're working with. Let's clean up the eyes a little bit with my black watercolor pencil. Then I'm going to use my white watercolor pencil to build up opacity. Alright, let's add in the upper eyelid with my brown watercolor pencil. And then contour it a little bit with some brown pastel. Then I'm going to highlight the inside of the eyelid with my white pastel. And then redefine the eye with my black watercolor pencil. Then using my white pastel, I'm going to highlight the rest of the face. After that, I'm going to use a light pink pastel to blush the cheeks and the lips. On the next layer, we're going to continue to build up opacity with my watercolor pencils and pastels. Also, I do have to say that this hobby is more meant for adults or people with adult supervision. A lot of the materials used are dangerous or hazardous to your health and require protective gear. These art tools are meant for collecting and display, and not for play. Now I'm highlighting the nose with my white pastel and a white watercolor pencil. Then I'm going to blend it out a little bit with a Q-tip. After that, I'm going to continue to work on the eyes, which includes working on the eyebrows. But it so happens that I lost the footage. Fun! So here are the eyebrows that I did off screen using my light brown watercolor pencil. I did them super thin in the Macoto style. Now, using my black watercolor pencil, I'm going to do the lower eyelashes. Make sure your pencil is very sharp when you do this, and feel free to erase and correct as you go. After I do one eye, I'm going to get distracted and highlight the inner eyelid with my white watercolor pencil and blend out a little bit. Then I'm going to go back and do the other eyelashes. It's very important in the Macoto style to have the lower eyelashes be very thin and wrap around the entire bottom edge. Alright, cool, those look great. Now let's add a little bit more blush, work on the lips, and then add some highlight. On the next layer, we're going to work on the catch lights and eyes with my white acrylic paint. I'm going to color in these catch lights I already mapped out. Then I'm going to add the little shine with a very thin brush. This part was super stressful for me and I actually messed up once, but I was able to fix it and I think it looks pretty good. Yes, I love it. So sparkly. Now let's continue to build up opacity in the eyebrows. Also using my eraser to refine the shape as I go. Then I'm going to continue detailing the face with my white watercolor pencil. I'm building up opacity in the scleras as well as adding some texture to the lips. Now I'm darkening up the edges of the lips with my light pink watercolor pencil and my pink pastel. Alright, cool. Let's add more blush to the cheeks and also highlight the cheeks with some pearlized mica powder. I'm starting off with the pink for the cheeks, then I'm switching to a white mica powder for the rest of the face, which is also pearlized. And with that, the face is complete. Now let's move on to the hands. And to keep to the Macoto style, we're going to blush the fingertips. But first, let's clean off the existing nail polish with some acetone. Then off screen, I'm going to clean it with some hot soapy water and do a base of Mr. Super Clear. Now we're going to blush the fingertips with the light pink pastel. Then I'm just going to give it a final sealant of Mr. Super Clear. Step 4. Clothing. So for her look today, we're doing very much a mixture of this and that. I love the Poodle Girl so much, she's everything. We're going to be using a pink cotton today. Here is my skirt pattern piece, my sleeve pattern piece, the back bodice, the cuff, and the front bodice. The front bodice is going to be on the fold. Alright, let's just trace everything out with a pencil. After I have everything traced, I'm going to cut everything out with my fabric scissors. Like usual, I'm going to do all of my sewing off screen, otherwise the video would be super duper long. But here are all the dress pattern pieces cut out. So the sleeve will be gathered into the cuff and then set into the shoulder. You'll also get lace trim at the cuff. Also the darts on the bodice, attach the shoulder seams before I attach the sleeve, and then sew up the side seam. So this is the pattern piece for the skirt. I'm going to sew some lace trim to hem the bottom, and then gather up the top and then attach it to the bodice. I also added an apron to the design, as well as some lace trim at the collar and down center front so it looks like a button placket. I also added some pearl beads to look like buttons. But I think the apron needs a little bit more, so let's add some sparkle. We're going to be adding some beads and paillettes. But not just any paillettes, special paillettes that we're going to make ourselves. Of course, in the Macoto style. Now we're going to do something super fun that I haven't done since I've been a kid. We're going to use my quote-unquote Shrinky Dink plastic, which is a shrink plastic kit I got on Amazon, trace out our shapes, and bake them. And for the shapes, we're going to do all those little floating dealies that you see all over his paintings. Oh, I'm going to cut them out before I bake them. Here are all the paillettes that I cut out. I made way too many, but we're going to bake them all anyway. I tried cutting some holes out into the shapes before, but they closed up when I baked them. After they bake, I'm going to set them aside to cool. Then we're going to drill a hole in each paillette to have a point to sew it on. Cool, these turned out so cute, I love them. Now let's just sew a few onto the apron. I'm just going to plot out the position and sew them off screen. Step 5. Hair. So for the hair today, we're using this golden yellow acrylic yarn. I'm going to prepare the wefts off screen. Alright, I'm going to start things off by combing out this weft a little bit. We're going to be using this for the bang piece. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue and then hold it in place while it dries. I've used a variety of different glues in the past, and I'm so impatient that I've just switched to super glue. It actually works really well. After it dries a little bit, I'm just going to comb it out and then start to cut it. I'm going to use an eyebrow razor and a pair of scissors. Remember not to go crazy at first, leave them long and work your way up. You can always cut more off, but you can't add more hair. But I will be adding more hair to the rest of the head, so yeah. So yeah, we're just going to take our time and cut these bangs. We want them wispy and kind of side-swept, but not too much. Awesome, that looks great. Let's just add another track to bring the bangs up a little bit. Then we're going to blend that into the existing cut. Alright, cool, the bangs look pretty good. Now let's add some wefts to the back and to the rest of the head. I'm just going to work my way up the head, allowing each layer to dry as I go, until it looks something like this. Then it's time to glue on the part pieces. After I get both of the pieces for the part on and let them dry, I'm just going to comb them into place. Then it's time to style and curl the hair. I did have to tape her to her stand so she kind of looks like a hostage while I was curling the hair, but yeah, it really helped stabilize her. So let's start by combing out a little section. We're going to be using the Hexagon hair curling method today, which is heating up a stainless steel chopstick with a flat iron and then curling the hair around it. It works really well. I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. So I'm just grabbing this section and curling away from the face, curling in a downward motion. And we're just going to continue on section by section until we do the whole head. It's easier to start from the bottom and work your way up. Another trick that helped me keep organized while I was doing this was sectioning off everything. Your hand looks like a Super Saiyan. So here's the hair fully curled. She looks amazing. Oh my god, I love it. Let's just finish off the hair by spraying her with some got-to-be glued hairspray. First, I'm just going to cover up the face to protect it with some paper. Step 6. Finishing touches. Alright, let's give her a fake lash. Although I had another incident and guess what? More missing footage. Fun! After both lashes are dry, I'm going to gloss the lips. We're not going to gloss the eyes this time because I don't want it to interfere with photography. Step 7. Accessories / stand. So her first accessory is a 3D printed basket. I got the file from Lady Dynamite Crates. I'll put a link to her channel in the description below, as well as a link for the basket. We'll be basting the basket out in a dark brown spray paint. It's by Tamiya Color and it's for plastic. After that, we're going to dry brush the basket with a lighter brown acrylic paint. After I'm happy with the dry brushing, I'm just going to seal it with Mr. Super Clear. Alright, now so I don't have to completely fill the basket, I'm going to stuff the bottom with some foam. I'm just going to super glue it in. Alright, awesome. Now let's glue some flowers in. I'll be using some little paper roses and some fake baby's breath. I have a few different colors of the roses, but I'm going to be painting the white one pink, and a baby's breath pink as well. Awesome, that looks great. I'm just going to set that aside to dry. And guess what? More missing footage. I made a hairpin for the hair using the same flowers, and lost the footage somehow. Fun! Now let's move on to her shoes. I stole these shoes from a different L.O.L doll. We're going to be painting them pink and white. I'm just going to base out with the spray paint and then come back in with the acrylic paint later on. I'm just starting with the pink, then I'm going to set it aside to dry, and finish off by detailing with the white. I'm also going to paint the little buckle gold with metallic acrylic paint. Cool, now let's move on to the stand. Since the crotch stand worked out for my Elvira doll, I decided to 3D print some more. For the base of this stand, we're going to be using this wood base. We're going to be drilling through the center of the base. Off screen, I attached the crotch stand to the metal pole using APOXIE SCULPT. We're just going to stick it through the hole and measure it, and then cut it to length. After that, we're going to secure it with some more APOXIE SCULPT. Then we're going to base everything out with some white spray paint. Once the spray paint's all dry, I'm going to cover the whole base in flowers. I have some larger fake paper roses, and the same flowers that I used for the basket. I'm just going to hot glue them onto the base. And while I do that, I just have to say thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all of our latest projects. Leaving a comment and a like really helps the channel, and helps the video get out to more people. Also, check us out on Instagram and give us a follow at ICouldDoThat.diy and at Kawaii Dollies. The Kawaii Dollies Instagram is a little bit more doll focused and is actually older than my channel, so you can check out all of my past work. So as you can see, I started with the larger flowers and I'm going to start to fill in with the smaller ones. I'm going to finish off with some baby's breath at the end. And with that, the doll stand's complete, and so is the rest of the doll. Now let's move on to the photo shoot. Step 8. Doll photo shoot. So here she is, here's the final result. I'm so happy with her, she looks so cute. I definitely think I achieved the Macoto Takahashi style. I love her hair so much. I've never curled hair like this before. I personally have really straight hair, so it's really hard for me to work with curly hair. So I think I did a good job. I also love the outfit. It turned out really good. It's definitely a Macoto dress for sure. All the other details are really special too. I really love the basket, the apron, and the stand. It really adds to the overall look. For me, this was a really fun collab to participate in. I really enjoy being pushed out of my comfort zone, and using a different doll is always fun. I just might be using more of these dolls in the future. For now, just enjoy the rest of the photos. Make sure to check out everyone else's videos. Just to re-review, in today's collab we have Blank Space Dolls, the Dolly Geek, Josephine's Creatures, Kiro's Workshop, Jackie O, and Mr. Super Customs, along with myself. There will be a playlist along with links in the description for everyone's videos. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!